I'm playing this to prove to you that I'm not white. It cancels out my whiteness, the fact that I listen to various hip-hop and rap music. You see, I don't actually have to go to the communities to learn about blackness, or to be able to identify with it, or shape my knowledge, my assumptions on black people from actual experience. I can actually just listen to rap music and watch rap videos and understand them completely to know that the African American mindset is all centered around getting money and bitches and living in the ghetto. Yep. I know all about that. I know all about Jay-Z, 50 Cent, stuff like that. I'm pretty hip. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And you know who's great? Eminem. He's so great. Like the way he treats his daughter, I love that. In fact, I'm wearing this to prove that, you know, I can be pretty cool. Well, now that I've said that, I'm probably gonna get a little criticism from people. To those of you who might have thought I was being serious, that was sarcasm. In fact, more than just sarcasm, it was a satire in the sense that, yes, people do think like that. Specifically suburban kids that have never been to the cities, never really experienced public schools, stuff like that. In fact, people think that, you know, people who, you know, look at rap music and think, God, you know, that's so misogynistic. It's so terrible that they would produce stuff like that. Well, the bulk of people supporting these rap albums is in fact white people. Yeah. Like me! Except I don't actually own any rap music. What can I say? Sorry. But, it's the way things are. I guess you can tie into a lot of stuff. You can talk about white privilege from there. All sorts of stuff like that. But I'll leave that to a time when I'm a bit more coherent. See, I'm not actually good about talking about racial politics, though I am sort of involved in it. Usually what happens... Let's play that again, so I have a soundtrack. There we go. Usually what happens when I discuss racial politics is I kind of trip over my own words. I'm better writing about it than I am speaking about it. And yet here I am, having a relatively easy time discussing it. And yet, you know, if someone were to argue with me at this moment, I'd probably have a hard time coming up with an argument to defend what I've said so far. Even though I know actually the reasons for why I've said what I've said, and I know the facts behind them, I can support what I've said with books. In fact, let's talk about books. For you. If anyone's interested in what I'm talking about, if anyone looks at what I've said and goes, what the fuck is he talking about? That's bullshit. Well, maybe you should, you know, look into what I've said. And here are some books that will help you to do that. The Heart of Whiteness by Robert Jensen. This was the first book I've ever read on white privilege and racism, and it was given to me by a very special person. And I thought, at the time, I wasn't aware of racial politics, and I thought, what the fuck is this shit? She's just making me read this because she's just gonna, like, make me read this, and it's gonna suck, it's gonna be boring as hell. And I picked it up, and, you know, it's only 91 pages. Not even. No, it's 96 pages. Big letters, everything. But it really has a lot to say. And it really opened my eyes. And I recommend this book a lot. Especially for white people. In fact, it's pretty much geared towards white people. It's written by a white person, so if you think, you know, that, oh, it's just some ex-Black Panther who's just gonna tell me that I'm racist. It's not what it's about. But this is a great starter. White Like Me by Tim Wise. I'm actually not finished reading this book, but it's the memoirs, sort of someone who has, a white person who has realized a lot of their own white privilege and speaks on it in a very kind of personal way. A lot of times what happens is people pick up these books and, you know, it's a lot of scholarly essays and stuff like that, and it's hard to read. But White Like Me approaches it in a lot more personal, easier to read, and good information. I just got this one. I got it signed. The hip-hop generation. If you're into hip-hop, and you know, because some, you know, not all, you know, there are some, you know, hip-hop is in many senses a universal art. It you know, speaks to everyone in America. And this book talks on it, and it critiques a lot of the problems, but it also talks about where it's going. And I haven't read it yet. I'm going to, but I've heard great things. It was by the same author, Bakira Kitwana, who also wrote Why White People Like Rap Music. I really wanted to read that one, actually. I read parts of it, and it was really good. So I'm looking forward to this. And then, so yeah, I recommend those books to you if you really want to know. I mean, I'm not even gonna say, you know, I'm not even gonna tell you that, you know, you need to read them, but it's a good thing when you do read them, and open my eyes up, and now I can say that I'm a completely changed person after I read The Heart of Whiteness. And so this is my YouTube video that speaks on social issues, because, you know, as fun as it is to make, you know, funny movies, videos, sometimes we have to take responsibility and say something meaningful. And I hope I've done that. And and I've also hope that you see that I'm a good white person in response. You know, I'm just so good. I'm not racist at all. I read books. I take Black Studies classes. I say hello to all of my black friends. Don't worry, that was also sarcasm. But whatever. So, this is a long video, so I'm just gonna cut it short. Bye!